On the 8th of August 2026, he wrote a farewell letter to the New York Yankees, thanking the owners, the staff, and the fans who had supported him for 26 years. He signed off simply, saying he would never forget them. 8 days later, on the 16th of August 2026, Tommy John passed away at the age of 83. He never made the Hall of Fame as a player, but the surgery that carries his name has saved more careers in professional baseball than perhaps any single medical procedure in the history of the sport. Today we're telling the full story of Tommy John, the man behind one of the most famous names in sports medicine. Tommy John's death was confirmed Sunday, the 16th of August 2026, through a statement from the Los Angeles Dodgers, one of the 6 major league teams he played for during his career. According to Reuters, John had been in hospice care in the final week of his life. Dodgers president Stan Kasten released a statement calling John an exceptional pitcher throughout his career, and adding that his courageous role in becoming the first athlete to undergo the surgery that now bears his name simply can't be overstated. As of this recording, no specific cause of death has been detailed beyond the confirmation that he had entered hospice care in his final days. And out of respect for his family, we won't speculate further. Just 8 days before his passing, on August 8th, the Yankees had posted a farewell letter from John after he was unable to attend the team's annual Old Timers Day event. In it, he expressed gratitude to the organization's owners and staff, and specifically thanked the surgeon who saved his career, noting that the operation had gone on to save the careers of countless pitchers since, including many of the very best players in the game today. He closed the letter by thanking the fans who had supported him and his teammates for 26 years, writing that he would never forget them. In hindsight, that letter now reads as his final message to the game he spent his entire life playing. Thomas Edward John Jr. was born on the 22nd of May 1943 in Terre Haute, Indiana, to Thomas Edward John Sr. and Ruth John. As a kid, he played sandlot baseball around his hometown and was actually an outstanding basketball player at Gerstmeyer High School, where he held the school's single-game scoring record. Baseball, though, is where his path ultimately led. He was signed by the Cleveland Indians and made his major league debut on the 6th of September 1963 at just 20 years old. What followed was one of the longest, most unusual careers in baseball history. John pitched in the majors for 26 seasons, spanning parts of 4 different decades, from 1963 all the way to 1989. He played for 6 different franchises: the Cleveland Indians, the Chicago White Sox, the Los Angeles Dodgers across 2 separate stints, the New York Yankees also across 2 stints, the California Angels, and the Oakland Athletics. His best individual seasons came with the Dodgers in the mid to late 1970s, where he helped lead the team to the World Series in both 1977 and 1978. Across his career, he was named a 4-time All-Star, and he finished with 288 career wins, the 8th highest total among left-handed pitchers in Major League history, and, notably, the most career wins of any eligible pitcher not currently enshrined in the Baseball Hall of Fame. But it's what happened in 1974 that truly defined Tommy John's legacy, far beyond his win total. That September, John suffered a torn ligament in his throwing elbow, an injury that, at the time, meant an automatic permanent end to any pitcher's career. Instead of retiring, John agreed to an experimental procedure with Dodgers team physician Dr. Frank Jobe, who took a tendon from elsewhere in John's body and used it to reconstruct the damaged ligament. Nobody had ever attempted this specific surgery on an athlete before. John missed the entire 1,975 season recovering, an agonizingly uncertain wait with no guarantee the surgery would even work. It did. John returned to the mound in 1976 and went on to win 164 more games after the surgery, 40 more wins than he'd recorded in his entire career before the injury. That procedure is now known worldwide simply as Tommy John surgery, and it's since been performed on well over a third of all major league pitchers, an almost unimaginable legacy for what began as a last resort gamble to save one man's career. After retiring in 1989, at age 46, as the oldest player in baseball at the time, John stayed close to the game he loved. He worked as a broadcaster for the Minnesota Twins and Yankees throughout the 1990s, and later managed the Bridgeport Bluefish of the Independent Atlantic League. He remained on the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot for 15 years, and though he never received enough votes for induction through either the Writers' Ballot or the Veterans Committee, many analysts have long argued his career, and especially his singular medical legacy, made him deserving of a spot in Cooperstown. Tommy John's cause of death has not been publicly detailed beyond confirmation that he had entered hospice care during his final week, as reported by Reuters. Given his farewell letter to the Yankees just over a week before his passing, it's clear that even in his final days, John remained focused on expressing gratitude to the sport, to his teams, and to the fans who followed his remarkable career. Out of respect for his family during this time, we won't speculate on further medical details that haven't been made public. Tommy John's personal life included both profound joy and, at times, real heartbreak. He married his first wife, Sally Simmons, on the 13th of July 1970, and together they had 4 children: Tamara, Tommy, John II, Travis, and Taylor. In 1981, at the height of his career, John actually took time away from the Yankees, specifically to help care for his son Travis, a decision that speaks to how he balanced his baseball career with his role as a father. Tragically, in 2010, his youngest son, Taylor, who had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, died by suicide at just 28 years old. Taylor had been a performer himself as a child, appearing in the Broadway production of Les Misérables. Following that devastating loss, Tommy John became a dedicated advocate for suicide prevention and mental health awareness, using his public platform to support organizations focused on raising awareness around bipolar disorder and preventing suicide, turning personal tragedy into meaningful advocacy work for others facing similar struggles. John and Sally later divorced. In 2014, he relocated to La Quinta, California with Cheryl Zeldin, and the couple married in January of 2022. According to the Dodgers' own statement confirming his passing, Tommy John is survived by his wife and his 3 surviving children, Tommy, Travis, and Tamara. If you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, please know that help is available. In the United States, you can call or text 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline anytime, day or night. Tommy John built his wealth over more than 5 decades in professional baseball through player salaries across his 2 6-season career, followed by additional income from broadcasting work, minor league managing, and public speaking engagements centered around his legacy in sports medicine. Public estimates have placed his net worth anywhere between the low millions and as high as $40 to $50 million, though no official figure was ever confirmed by John himself, and estimates for figures like this should always be treated as approximate rather than verified fact. Tommy John's story ultimately isn't just about baseball statistics, even remarkable ones like 288 career wins across 26 seasons. It's about what happened when a career-ending injury became, instead, the foundation for one of the most important medical breakthroughs in the history of professional sports. He agreed to a surgery nobody had tried before, with absolutely no guarantee it would work, and in doing so, opened a door that's kept thousands of pitchers' careers alive in the decades since. His later life, marked by both the devastating loss of his son Taylor and his subsequent commitment to suicide prevention advocacy, adds another layer to his legacy, one built on resilience, both on the mound and through personal tragedy. Tommy John spent 26 seasons on a major league mound, and in doing so, changed the sport of baseball forever, both through his 288 wins and through a single, groundbreaking surgery that now carries his name into locker rooms and training rooms across the entire sport. From Terre Haute, Indiana, to 3 World Series appearances, to becoming a lasting name in sports medicine history, his impact on baseball reaches far beyond his own career numbers. He leaves behind his wife Cheryl, his children Tommy, Travis, and Tamara, and a medical legacy that will continue protecting pitchers' careers for generations to come. Rest in peace, Tommy. The game and the athletes who came after you are forever better because of you. If Tommy John's career, his groundbreaking surgery, or his story of resilience meant something to you, we'd love to hear about it. Leave a comment below sharing what his legacy means to you. And if you want more respectful, in-depth tributes to the athletes who shaped their sports, don't forget to subscribe to Your Star Facts.